War I, the Allies used an estimated of 6 million horses and mules and other beasts of burdens. And those beasts of burdens, they took heavy artillery and they dragged it across the ground because the ground was so muddy where the trenches were, that they had to use up to 12 to 6 horses to pull the artillery around. They also used elephants and other exotic animals on the home front because there was such a shortage of mules and horses because they were being all shipped off to the war. So they used circus animals like elephants and camels to plow the ground and to go around the town and carry scrap metal around. And today, for a while there were wild camels in Arizona because of the war efforts. They used camels in Arizona in order to plow the fields and stuff, and the farmers just let them go. So there for a couple years, there was wild camels. And some people suspect that there are still wild camels in Arizona to today. They also use messaging pigeons, and what they would do, they would have this tiny castle on the pigeon's leg. They would put a message in it, and then the pigeon would fly back to HQ. Now, one of the most famous carrier pigeons was the last pigeon a general had, and it had a very important note in it. So he sent the pigeon off, and it survived being shot right near its chest, and it still flew to HQ and still delivered the message. Sadly, the pigeon did not die. Sadly, the pigeon died, but it was still rewarded the animal version of a Purple Heart. Now, the most decorated dog in history and the most highest ranking dog in history was from World War I. His name was Sergeant Stuffy. He was a pit bull mix, and he saved an estimate of 400 lives. He survived being gassed twice and being shot once. His taxidermy body is in the World War I museum now.
Which museum? Sorry, which museum?
The one that we might possibly go to.
Really? Okay.
It's not really a taxidermy, it's a model of him, and his ashes are inside it.
Oh, okay.
But cons of having animals in the war is that the animals were so heavy that when they died, their bodies would just rot. And so it spread disease faster as well as the feces of the animals did. And there was also a major problem with lice and rats. The rats were so bad that they had to get small terrier dogs to run around and get the rats and kill them. They were called ratter dogs. And there was only a limited supply of animals, and it meant that the home front had almost no horses or anything like that for such a long time, and it caused a decrease in crops because of it. Now, today, we use animals in order to sniff out explosives, and they even help our local police forces. Animals do a lot for us, but World War I is the most war that had the most animals to participate in. And people say that it will probably still stay the same, because our technology is advancing so much that we don't need those beasts of burden in the war. Instead, we use dogs to help find wounded and find explosives. And we even use bomber rats to sniff for mines on the field, and because they're so light, they don't set off the mines. We even use dolphins and sea lions, intelligent aquatic creatures, to go underwater and find sea mines, and to record and scout out for enemy ships. But the cons of this is that we have to train these animals at such a young age in order for them to be trained correctly, and that they can carry out their job in the correct way. And the Army has to provide food and water and veterinary services as well. They have to provide for these animals, and they have to take care of them within bounds. Because during World War I, the Blue Cross was set up. It's an organization to help animals in the war. Because so many animals were dying and being sent off to the war in World War I, that people started an organization so that the animals could get better treatment and care. And that is my project. I hope you all learned something from it.